going on YouTube, Facebook, ScottyBoy672 here with,
On Xenon.
and this is Minecraft. So before we begin, I'd like to give a couple shout outs to the first one being Van Xenon for helping me with this build. If it wasn't for your help, I probably would have never finished by now, even though it took us, what, a year to build this?
Oh,
Two,
just about.
2 years? A lot of procrastinating, a lot of pranks, a lot of fun. The second shout I want to give to is Affinity HD for once again being the chosen texture pack for one of my builds. I'm going to leave a link in the description box to download this texture pack. I am using 256-bit rated texture pack, so I recommend this texture pack to anybody who want to do these type of style of builds. It is an amazing texture pack. He puts a lot of work into his texture pack. So go download. Tell him ScottyBoy672 sent you. And with that being said, we're going to begin. So, last y'all saw, I built a castle on Minecraft. It was relatively small. This one has actually maxed its size. It's about 5 or 6 times the size it was before. And overall, it took a long time to build. So, I'll do a quick fly around. I really need to get some wings. I'm not going to do a fly around, I'm just going to go up and have y'all look around. So, start the beginning. Van, why don't you tell them about the door that we created?
Which one would that be?
The one on the main wall. If you notice, we have 2 walls now. We have the castle, the inner wall, and then the outer wall. The outer wall is the main wall. This is the entrance to the castle. So, and to the spawn zone, because this will probably be a future spawn zone for a server. So, why don't you tell them how we made this?
Let's do a daylight sensor, so during the night, it closes. Then if I do this again with day, when it becomes day, it opens back up.
Originally, the door was a little bit smaller than this, and this was a wall that was a width of what, 2, was it 2, 3, before we doubled its size. We originally had the iron gates. We changed it to the cobblestone wall just because it looks nicer and makes it look more like
an actual gate.
Yeah, an actual gate. As you can see, he has it mounted to daylight sensors up here, just to give it a more realistic open-close type feature. Moving on to the next part, the shops. This is going to be in another tour. This is what we're currently working on right now. The castle itself is pretty much in its finishing stages, minus some fine details and finishing touches. These are going to be the 4 shops. There's going to have 8 shops in the front. As you can see, this is what it starts to look like as the first build. And as we progressed, we added a roof, added the ceiling, and then if you go in here, we added lighting for the shop. We used the, what is this called?
End rods.
The end rods as a light. Kind of like if you see in a retail store, those running lights at the ceiling. This is basically what this is supposed to represent. These are just basically player shops. This is going to be used later on. Your basic 12 by 12 shop, 10 by 10 on the inside. What is it? 4 blocks high? Average 4, 5, 6 blocks high.
It's about 3 on the edges, 6 in the middle.
So overall, it's a pretty nice size player shop, usable. If you want us to know how to build it, like I said, it's 12 by 12 square. Make sure there's 10 by 10 on the inside. Drop down your pressure plate, your door. We'll walk through if you want to know how to build it. We'll walk through on how to build it later on. Just ask. Moving on to the next feature. As you can see, we have the inner wall to the castle, which is actually connected. It is solid all the way through. We did not make a hollow wall, different from the last castle, because the last castle actually was a single wall with crosses on it. And as you can see, I moved the crosses and put them on the castle, and we'll get into detail to that. But right now, Van, why don't you explain to them how this works?
That would be inner door?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's set up to redstone to be a 2x2 flush piston door. Pretty simple. A lot of people have made it before.
Now, the feature that we added is the drawbridge. Which, how long did that take you to build?
Um, Building it wasn't really the hard part. It was just trying to find the right design that would actually be functional.
I called Van at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when I was still working overnights, and I said I want a freaking drawbridge. Originally, we was trying water mode, but we had to change to lava because this is a snow biome and the water kept freezing. And I told him, I said, I need a drawbridge that's not going to burn down, that's going to be efficient. Unfortunately, to make this drawbridge, if you're not a fan of command blocks, you will not be able to have this drawbridge. You can use the traditional cobblestone generator, but to get it to be able to retract like it does, you're going to have to use command blocks. So my recommendation is if you want a bridge like this, a drawbridge on your build, use command blocks. Come up with your own design. We made it too wide just because it's the same width as the walkway. We used the what are these blocks? The stone slabs. Yeah, we used the half slabs as a bridge just to give it some more detailed looks. Um, Overall, very nice. Looks really good, man. I like what you did with the torches. The little item frame inside makes them look like they're actually being held onto the wall. What is that you're using to hold them in?
I believe that's an anvil.
Wow, that looks really cool. I like that. I say he helped me build this. He came up with a lot of designs. One of the designs he helped incorporate was the two crosses that's on all four sides of the wall. We used what is this? Smooth red sandstone for the cross with a chisel sandstone in the middle, and he created the border on the outside.
I think it was your idea to have the cross there, but it was more of like trying to find the right shape and design that would actually look somewhat good.
It only took about 15 minutes to get it right. Um, yeah, it only took about 15 minutes to get it to where we needed to be. Change it to night real quick so they can see it up in the light. As you can see, they stand out with the quartz blocks. It gives them a brightness look in the dark. So, and it also takes away from the brick wall. It gives it a little bit more detail I'll add on to the castle. One of the things I changed, as you notice, is I took the squareness, the boxiness of the castle, and I gave it a more round look. So now I have round pillars, and these pillars are not accessible on the inside no more. You cannot access them at the top. You can't access them on the side. The only access you have is from the inside of the castle, which I will be taking y'all inside now to the main hall. So as you can see, I kept the traditional brick look, brick and nether brick add-in look
On the edges.
around the edges.
Yeah, another brick on the edges for edging detail.
Just to make it, bring it out a little bit more. See, I got it on the corners here, all wrapped around. There's a few things I changed that you'll notice. I kept the balcony going all the way around, wrapped around. The only thing is I didn't wrap it completely around. I stopped it at the throne room. The second thing I changed is there's 2 rooms in there and a throne room instead of 3. The third thing I changed was the dungeons are no longer in the castle. There is no longer any dungeons. The torture dungeon is actually on the top of this castle, and it's not longer a dungeon. It's just a basic room I added on top of the castle instead of having it flat. Another thing you'll notice is the tables. And with that being said, I'm going to let Van Xenon go push the button. The reason why we did this is to give more floor space. If you remember right from the last castle, there was no floor space. Everything was just jumbled up. We were bumping into things. It was really small. So with the hideaway tables, it gives more floor space and more build space. And it just looks a lot nicer. How did you make this? Because you're the one that actually did it.
Well, making it wasn't too hard. It was more of like finding the right design that would actually be possible to use. So I just went with the basic.
You remember?
Basic is not good.
I actually started this. I'm the one who called him and said I'm going to try to make a hideaway table. He logged into it after I sent because we were swapping back and forth before we switched to Minecraft realms. He would make a LAN server, give me the IP, I'd jump in, and when he's online, we'd work on it. We'd swap back and forth, give each other the updated files, and we'd go from there. When he saw the redstone work of what I was trying to do and it failing, Van pretty much took over the whole project.
Yeah, when it comes to redstone between the two of us, just let me do it.
Hey, at least I try. One of
Yeah,
the
you tried, but
I think I should just stick to making traps.
yeah. Well, even with traps, I could probably come up with some that I could probably do quite a bit more.
Don't make this a challenge. So one of the things you'll notice that I did was, and it was actually a big pain to Van because he had to come up and clean up the mess, was the ceiling. I actually made a design into the ceiling. Both sides 100% looked the same on either side. The problem is, as I was cutting them out, I already placed I completely placed the lava. Before I started cutting, I placed the lava down. I didn't want to have to do it afterwards. Van would turn around and he was working on the wall. You was working on the wall, correct? You
No, it's been a while, so I don't quite remember exactly
you was
what I
either
was
working on
doing.
the wall, or you would work on the kitchen. But he would turn around and we're like, God damn it! And he'd have to come up because lava is just pouring to the floor. I would
I
just
think it was you were like up on the top, just cutting down the side, and I was like coming up around behind, patching up the holes.
hey, it was well worth it because it looks good. All right, so we're gonna show you the kitchen now, and this is gonna be Van's area. He's the one who incorporated the chest idea, so I'll let him explain that one. I'm gonna explain the other side, which I built. If you have an issue with lighting on a build like this, don't be afraid to use lava for lighting. As you can see, I put it on the floor and the ceiling. It looks like the lava is pouring down into the floor, which pours down into the main hall, which pours down to outside. So don't be afraid to use lava for lighting. It's an amazing light source, and done right, it gives a lot of details to whatever you're building. As you can see, we got the wash station, the hang station, we got the crafting table that represents the butching
Chopping
station,
spot.
the chopping block butching station. We got the furnace to represent the stove. What's a stove? And we got the stone slabs to represent a counter. Some people will probably add the bottom to make it solid. We kept it to where it was just a half slab. To me, it looked a lot nicer to have that half slab and a red carpet at the bottom. Oh, that looks cool too, actually. Building like explaining, I like it. Alright, Van, so why don't you explain what you did right here?
More of like just a since this is the kitchen, is more of just a food storage for all the foods that you can get in Minecraft. So on this side we have the plant-based ones, plants, vegetables. On the other side you have the meat-based products.
That's a lot of meat. I would like to point out that as soon as we built this, they ended up adding a couple more food items. And as Minecraft continues to add more food items, we're just going to start adding more chests. And if you know Van the way I know Van, you're never going to go hungry. Every chest has something in it. And here's the button that activates the tables, by the way. Oh, you took away the peak hole. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I think I had the peak hole right in the spot where the beetroots are.
Yeah, I think you did, because I remember there used to be a peek hole there to see what the tables were up or down. Alright, moving on. This was another of Van's idea. The We kept the chandelier idea, but we changed it up. We used a nether rack with a fire on top to give it more lighting. We actually recently added the ones in the middle, because every time we would log in, there'd be a black shadow on the ground. We have to walk around it just to get it to disappear. And actually, since we added this, I haven't had that problem since.
Yeah, that's just a Minecraft lighting glitch.
So don't be afraid to add on to anything if you have lighting glitches and any other issues like that. Like I said, don't be afraid to use lava for a light source. I even added it on the balcony to give the balcony a little more detail. As you can see, I kept the fireplace on both sides. There's only two of them now. It's a little smaller. They're both built the exact same way they were before. Ooh! Ooh! Should we show them the room?
It's up to you.
Let's go hit the lever. We added a hidden room. So, if you remember right, we had two dungeons in the last one. I think if I remember right, I had another portal and an end portal in them. I can't remember if that's where I had them. If I didn't have them in there, we have them now, underneath the throne room. We have a third spot just in case they add some type of new world, or in the future if we open it up to a server, we're gonna create multiple worlds. So we have that third spot ready just for that. And just to come out, you just press this button. It's on the timer. You go up the stairs, and as you can see, goes back and it's like it's never been there. Moving on to the art room. The art room and the armory. See, you got your diamond armor on. We got our diamond armor on the stands, the gold armor, the chain, the iron. I'm gonna add a little Easter egg for the next video. Whoever gets this right, the first 3 people to get this right and tell me what these are, you got to tell me which each one is. You'll get a shout out on the next video. You got to tell me exactly what each one of these mean. This was actually both me and Van's idea. And as you can see, Affinity HD's lovely picture frames. Great picture choices, looks absolutely amazing. Every build I do, I have to add an art room in tribute to him just because of all the pictures they have on there. If you've never looked down at Affinity HDs or any of your texture packs, if you haven't made a wall of their pictures, do it. You'll be amazed at what kind of details go into it. The single block pictures on Affinity HD actually creates one giant picture. So amazing work. Great idea. Looks really good. Moving on to the 3rd floor, because we don't really need to cover the 2nd floor anymore. The 3rd floor was Van actually worked on it. As you, ooh, wait, we forgot something.
Is that downstairs?
Yep. As you can see, like I said, I took away the torture chamber and this and that. This is now, each 4 towers is now a punishment place. Basically, during the winter, you're sentenced to a certain amount of time here. So you survive the winter, you survive the cold, you survive the climate, you're free to go, your sentence is up, etc. If you don't, well, that's better than the death chamber, which I'll be showing you last. A lot better than the death chamber. I like to point out that originally the castle floor was magenta.
Yeah.
It's a long story. I got screenshots and pictures. I'll upload the album. I'll change the album on Facebook to public, and I'll upload the link to the description box. Y'all can see the pictures. This build actually started off in paint. So, fair warning, this build actually did start off in paint and made its way to Minecraft. I think I sent you the screenshots of the paint where I just made a bunch of square boxes and circles and named them.
I think so.
So moving on to the servant's room. It's one giant box that we divided into 4 rooms. Each 4 rooms are actually identical. Van Xenon's the one who actually remodeled them.
I think you had the design for the original room, and I just did a copy and paste and mirror image of them to the other 3.
Well, don't ask me which room I did, because I really don't remember. Moving on to the other side. The library. This is halfway finished. There's a lot of changes I'm still going to do. I'm probably going to add an enchanting room in here. This is basically the study hall, the library, whatever you want to call it, the office. I got the staircase blocks to represent a couch. Got your fence blocks and your pressure plate to represent a table. Your 2 fence posts with a torch on top to represent a lamp. As you can see, once again, I incorporated the lava as a lighting to give the lighting on the ceiling. So there's not so many torches like the last one. The last one had a lot of torches everywhere. It reduced the amount of torches we had and it lit up a heck of a lot better than what them torches did. Moving on to the other two rooms, I'm gonna let Van Xenon walk y'all through this one.
It is more just trying to find a design that actually seemed to work for bedroom side.
This is the King and Queens, correct?
Yes, it is.
Do you know if it's actually finished or is it still being worked on?
Oh, there's still lots to work on.
Yeah, we haven't even finished the other room. So you see, the castle is 75% done, but most of the major builds of it is complete. It's just now fine detail. So move on to the other room, so you can see how we did. Oh, and this is the prince and the princess's room.
Entryway is the same. The room shape is also the same. The only difference is from the other room there is a little table at the end. Instead, we have a solid wall.
None of that incest stuff.
Yeah, let's try and keep away from that, shall we?
I shouldn't be laughing at that. Moving on to the final room. Well, I would say room, but... So overall, we're pretty much almost done with this. As you can see, I added the staircase inside the tower and gave it a wall on both sides. Looks a lot nicer than what it is. Ooh. Do not change the daylight time. Is it coming up or is it coming down? It's coming up. That looks cool. Look at the lighting. I've never even noticed the lighting at this time of daylight time on the castle until now. That looks really good. So moving on to the final room, the Chamber of Death. This is where you no longer have options. You are sentenced to death. You come in here. Your death date is set, and until then, you hang on these hooks right here, by your wrists or by your feet, however we want to torture you, and you wait for your death. On the day of your death, Van, would you mind changing to survival, please? Or we can use him. You slowly walk up these stairs. People gather around and watch, and when your sentence is made, we just basically push you into the pit of lava and watch you burn. And that's pretty much the Chamber of Death. Definitely beats the old arena that I had on top of the other one. Gives a room on top, a little more detail. This is not done. There's a lot more being built. As you can see, I added a bridge and a staircase to extend to the inner wall for archers and stuff like that. I added it actually on both sides. I may be putting it on the back side. I haven't decided yet. I also may be hollowing out this wall and adding some more features to it. I have not decided that yet either. Overall, the build is about 50 to 65% done on the entire build. The castle itself is would you say 75-85% done?
I don't know. There's always tweaks to do on something.
In truth, in a build like this, nothing's ever done. Most people's like, oh, I'm done with my build. Oh, I'm done. No, you're never done. Minecraft either adds a new block that you could change, or you come up with better ideas. I put this in a snow biome just because it looks a lot nicer than being on the edge of the water. With that being said, I think we're done with the tour, aren't we?
I think so.
That actually relatively went really smooth compared to how many times we had to re-record. Well, this has been ScottyBoy672 here with
On Xenon.
Rate, comment, subscribe. A link down to my main channel. I may be returning. Share this video. If you'd like me to make a tutorial video on how to build this, I will gladly do it. If I don't do it, I will email you size instructions on how wide the castle needs to be, what radius the towers need to be. I'll either do that or I'll actually build my own tutorial. If I have to build my own tutorial, I'm going to need a lot of help. I don't want to have to build this twice by myself. Because I started off.
Like this size would be near impossible to do with just one person.
Yeah, so most definitely I'm going to need your help again. So if you want to know how to build this, I will gladly make a tutorial. Just keep in mind we are also working on the main build because we may be making this a spawn. We may be making this a server, so the main focus is on the server. But I will gladly make a tutorial video if I have to. It'll be in parts. It won't be a single video. It will only be in parts. Anyway, this is ScottyBoy672. Rate, comment, subscribe. Any questions, leave them down below. And peace.